In this video you'll learn how to sketch even the most complex of objects. We'll take some of the features you found hardest to master, break them down into easy to follow steps, and give you the tools and the confidence to take your own design work to the next level. Whether we're designing a new component or product from scratch, or we're representing an existing one, such as this, the blocks, we need to be comfortable using a variety of sketching methods to describe a wide range of shapes and features. One fundamental feature of all complex shapes is the circle. It's one of the shapes that many designers fear having to draw. Having to draw the circle in perspective can send the anxiety levels through the roof. Not only are we having to draw an ellipse, but it's confined to a particular angle and has to be a specific size and shape. Before we jump straight into attempting this process in 3D and in perspective, it's important to understand how we might construct these shapes in 2D. It's helpful to remember that a circle fits perfectly within a square. They're both as tall as they are wide, so I'll always draw a square first when I'm about to draw a circle. To find the centre of the circle, I'll draw diagonal lines from corner to corner. And finally, I'll draw vertical and horizontal lines through the centre point. The points at which the vertical and horizontal lines meet the square are the same 4 points at which the circle will touch the square. I like to draw a short, flat line at each of these 4 points because they will inform me where to start and end my curved lines, or the 4 quarters of my circle. It's important to be relaxed and to remember to breathe when we're sketching curves, as a loose approach will relieve pressure and enable us to build confidence in our sketching skills. Becoming comfortable with adding these diagonal, vertical and horizontal lines to our 2D sketches will help us when we start working in 3D. Since the 3D sketch is in perspective, the diagonal lines, and crucially the centre point, are important in helping us with the proportions of our sketch. Adding the curved lines should still be a relaxed process, remembering that our curves start and finish in line with the edges of the box should help us to position them in approximately the right place. I've included some links in the description below to a few of my other videos that give further help with these sketching methods. Whether my square in perspective is lying flat or is upright, I'm using the same process. Warming up in 2D also helps me to relax, to loosen up, and to improve my sketching fluency. I'm asking a lot of myself if I jump straight into sketching in 3D, so I'll always spend a bit of time warming up in preparation for a sketching session, and that warming up will include lots of sketching in 2D. Even though I'm mapping out my work with precision, I'm keeping my sketching loose. This might sound like a contradiction, but the ability to do this comes about through having the confidence to relax. One of the elements in my sketching that helps me to relax is the repetition of a process. In this case, building my ellipse or circle in perspective within a box with diagonal, vertical and horizontal lines each time helps me to keep relaxed. The ability to construct and sketch circles in perspective is a fundamental requirement when it comes to constructing other objects and shapes on paper. Rather than completing a circle in these sketches, I'm curving a corner. I'm using exactly the same process that I'd use for producing the full circle or ellipse, but here I'm focusing on just one corner. Note that I'm still drawing my short lines to help with the start and end points of my curves. They also help me to determine the approximate shape of my curve, in other words its radius. This curved edge, as a feature of an object, is known as a fillet. Now, it goes without saying that a requirement of sketching complex shapes in 3D is that we can sketch boxes in perspective. Being able to do this effortlessly and with speed comes with practice. Follow the links in the description below to find where you can download all of the sheets I've drawn in this video, including empty boxes in perspective that you can use as templates for practicing these and other sketching techniques that you'll find on my channel and in my online courses. In this case, I'm sketching the same box 5 times. I'm looking down on the bottom 2 boxes, straight on at the middle one, which is why I can only see 2 of its surfaces, and up at the top 2. I'm drawing these so that I can practice drawing fillets or curves, so I'm putting in some vertical construction lines where I want my curves to start. Our perspective is essentially our view of an object from where we're positioned, in comparison to the view that somebody else might have from where they're positioned. It also describes how our view of an object will change based upon where we are in relation to it. Note that I'm using my short lines to help focus my mind at the start and end of my curves. It's also helpful to recognise at this point that the angle between the 2 short lines changes for each of my curves depending upon the perspective. The more acute the angle between them, the sharper the curve. You'll notice that I'm using construction lines, in other words very light lines that I won't need to rub out. These help me to build my sketch without fear of making irreversible mistakes. Once I'm happy with the position of my construction lines, including my curves, I can go back over my shape with a heavier line. The heavier lines help my shapes jump out of the construction lines and out of the page. Once we're happy with drawing these curved edges, we should look at how we can continue this feature around a corner. You can see that I'm placing construction lines that indicate the start and end of each curved corner. They run along the length of the object. I simply need to continue these around the corner of the shape. And once I've done this, I need the same construction lines to run vertically, since this edge will curve too. You can see that the 2 vertical sides of the box curve into the base. We then need to make them curve into each other around the vertical edge. And I'm doing this by joining the 2 vertical faces with curved lines between them. On the basis that practicing is important, I've drawn a series of boxes in perspective, again available in the links below, that I can go on and use to further advance my degree of confidence with this process. You can see that I work entirely with construction lines, so that I'm not worrying about making mistakes. I'm applying the same process to build my curved edges or fillets, and only darkening my lines when I'm happy that they're in approximately the correct place. You'll notice that this page of boxes in perspective focuses upon the same box, but from a slightly increased angle each time. I've done this deliberately so that I'm continually required to adjust my process a little bit, but without any major change. This helps me to commit this process to my sketching toolkit, to build understanding, consistency, and even muscle memory. It should also help me to visualize this feature, which would be useful when I need to use it in my sketching work in the future. Batch sketching a page of empty boxes helps me to concentrate on a process, and in this example I can concentrate upon sketching curved edges or fillets. I could use these boxes for practicing a different feature, such as circles in perspective, chamfered edges or shoulders. In this case, all of my practice sketches feature a bottom right-hand side inside corner. I could be practicing an upper left-hand side outside corner. Having multiple copies of these pages with boxes in perspective gives me endless opportunities for developing my skills. It should go without saying that it's also important to practice sketching boxes in perspective, since this is a staple skill of the designer, but it can be beneficial to separate out these skills for focused practice. Moving on to sketching the blocks and putting into practice the processes we've been looking at, I'm starting with a box in perspective. Given that I'm sketching a pre-existing product, I need to give some thought to the proportions and the measurements. Now, the box itself doesn't have any sizes until I add construction lines for the fillets. The size I draw these in relation to the box reflects the radius of the curve on the fillets. You can see that I'm mapping everything out relatively carefully with construction lines. I'm partly focused upon the pencil lines I'm laying down, and partly visualising in my mind the position of my next lines before committing them to paper. Once I'm reasonably happy with my shape, I darken the outline. While I add to my construction lines, the information in my sketch builds nicely, but the construction lines can sometimes feel unresolved. So when I can, I'll resolve the ones I'm happy to commit to by darkening them and therefore making them a bit more permanent. This helps to reduce the background noise made by construction lines. Now I'm drawing my circles on the visible surfaces of the shape. You can see that I'm constructing them in the way that I described earlier. I'm starting with a square, dividing the square with diagonals to find the center point, and finally adding vertical and horizontal lines. Adding contour lines is a good way to help describe shape, and I'm doing this on the visible and non-visible surfaces to help give a wire form or see-through view of the shape. The process of building up detail is a slow and careful one. I'd nearly always recommend sketching quickly when designing, but the process of sketching an existing object should be done with more care and attention to detail. After all, we're trying to describe the object as it is, rather than how we imagine it might be. You'll also notice that I'm consistently rotating my piece of paper. I'm doing this to make the sketching process as comfortable as possible. We all have a preferred angle at which we draw our best or most comfortable straight line, so we should capitalise upon this to make the process as relaxed as possible. This is true too for drawing curved lines, so experimentation in this respect can be very helpful. The detail I'm adding here are the holes in the corners and along the edges of the shape. An important thing to remember here is how these features will line up with each other, and I'm using construction lines in this instance as I would a ruler. I'm finding ways to help place these features accurately, whether that be by lining up edges or center points. Finally, in this sketch you can see that I'm working on a more detailed part of the product. I've created the shape using construction lines in the same way that I did with my previous sketch, and each of the principles apply in exactly the same way as they do in all design sketching. Don't forget that you can find all the important links in the description below this video. Thanks for watching.